Well, welcome back to another episode of Mr. Smith Garage. Here in the garage, looking in the back of Jack. Came across a couple of challenges. Jack's engine running fine, although I took the cold start valve out that was in there that was flooding, or at least I felt like it was flooding the vehicle, and put this one in. This one I pulled out of a group of parts, bits and bobs we called it earlier, that was from a burnt motor. And yesterday when we were out here, Jim and I were working on the clutch and we decided to start the engine up. We noticed that it was spraying fuel from the bottom. It was like a mist of fuel. Apparently that's probably why that motor caught on fire. So we're going to pull that off, and I think what I'm going to do for now, because where I live is not very cold anyway, is I think I'm going to just put a straight piece of hose straight through to the other one and bypass the cold start right now. I'm going to pull that off and put the old one back on and just not plug it in, and maybe that will solve that problem. The other issue that we came across was I did get that clutch slave cylinder in there, and the master cylinder, we pulled it out yesterday and tried to do some fixing on it. Oh yeah, look at that. I've got that new steering wheel on there. Make sure this isn't going to hit the Porsche. Yep. Got that new steering wheel. This is a Long Acre 17-inch steering wheel on a Grant, I forget what they call this, a Boss. It's got a little bit of a space down here. I don't have room or access for a horn on it right now, which I'm okay with. I might just put a horn button somewhere down here. We'll see. But back to the master cylinder. We pulled the master cylinder out, cleaned it up. It doesn't feel like it's pumping anything through because I got no clutch at all. So went down to Burley Motorsports, picked myself up a new master cylinder. Thanks, Burley. Love talking to Burley. He's got lots of knowledge. Anyway, so we're going to put this master cylinder in place of that one, and then we're going to try and gravity bleed it over the course of a couple of days, and we'll see if I need to suck the fluid through or if it's going to actually bleed by itself, because the reservoir is higher than everything else. So if I release the bleeder valve on the slave cylinder, gravity should pull that fluid through. We'll see. But that's where we're at. We're gonna take this one off and put this one on. If for some reason it still doesn't do it, then I've got a replacement slave cylinder that I got off of Amazon, and we'll put that slave cylinder on the back and see if it works then. Alright, so thanks for watching, thanks for joining and subscribing. Subscribers are growing. We're still trying to hit that 100,000 mark, so keep on subscribing. Okay, so we're gonna get ready to fire this up again. So what I've done is I've hopefully repaired whatever leakage I might have had coming out of this sensor. I've taken the good distributor off. This is the one that was running, and I put a different distributor on here because I want to see if it's the distributor that works. The cold start, if you can see down through there, I put a new gasket on it, and then I just looped air around it. I don't even have it plugged in, the cold start. So we're going to see if there's no vacuum leak, hopefully there. And I've taken out the oil pressure sender that was here because only one works with whatever this is. There's no, I don't know, a resistor in there or whatever. So let's go fire it up. Okay, let me show you what's running on the dash here. So RPMs are just under 1,000. Oil pressure is between 30 and 40, right? And the temperature sender, I don't have anything hooked up with temperature sender yet. And that's the distributor that I had taken off because I thought maybe it didn't work. It does work. So now I know I've got 2 good distributors. Turn it off. Awesome. So now I'm going to work on that clutch master cylinder and see if I can get that thing in there. It doesn't look like I have a leak. That stuff works, man. It's Permatex thread sealant 56521. So that works good for this oil. I don't have anything leaking now. Nothing dripping down there. So nice. I got to tighten this up. I feel like that's a pretty good spot for timing, but I don't have a timing light, so we'll have to get a timing light and double check that. But yeah, running good. Now we just got to be able to move it with the clutch. Of course, I forgot to film as I took this out again. So 2 13mm hex heads. Pull these bolts out. It's back up underneath here. I am going to have to pull this out because I've got a different size piece that goes into the new one. There, let me open this for you. Again, got this from Burley Motorsports. Kind of my local Vanagon guy. Oh, that's on there to keep all this stuff clean, huh? Let's make sure that my 2 new bolts are gonna thread in here nice. Just always want to check that and make sure before I struggle underneath there that I've got all the right sizes. Okay, let me get this up here. I'm going to line these up, just make sure they all look the same. Sure enough, just this one looks a little bit newer. Let me try and get this piece out of here, which I don't even know what size it is, but we're going to find it. So I got that little piece out. That's going to go in this yellow piece here. I feel like I want to put some kind of thread lock on there because, I don't know, it just feels kind of loose in there. I know it'll bind up against there, but I'm going to put some of that oil thread lock on there, that Permatex. Okay, here we go. I don't need a lot of it, just a little. And then it was a 13 mil. It was on there really tight. So we'll just, that's pretty tight. Don't want it leaking. You probably can't see much of what I'm doing there, but what I am going to do before I put this in is I would like to see if I let this go, if fluid's going to come out or not. Because it should. And the fact that it's not could be a problem. That could actually be the problem. So why would my fluid not be coming out? Let's go upstairs and look. The reservoir comes out right there. I wonder if there's a seal in there that I never broke off of there. Alright, let me get the step stool so I can actually stand up here and see what I'm looking at. Okay, what's interesting here is that I'm kind of wondering if there was a plug here that I had to poke through. If that's the case, that is horrible. Like, we went through all that process, never gonna get any fluid out if there's actually some kind of a plug in here. So, I hate to open that now because it's just gonna leak all the way down. How can I do that without... I guess I could suck some of the fluid out of here till it goes down to that level. Let's do that. Let's suck some fluid out. We just want to get it down to that level so that if it does leak out, it doesn't leak all of that out of there. Okay, well, guess what? It is sealed off. That's why Jim and I went through all of that for nothing. It's completely sealed off. I'm gonna have to like poke a hole in it or something. Try to figure out how to get in here. Yep, it's solid. So, be nice if I would have known that before. I would have drilled it out. Now I'm gonna have to poke some holes so at least there's some flow. I got most of the... I think I've got... You can see the brake fluid is kind of right below it, so let me see what I can do to set this up so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, sure enough, that's what it is. There is definitely no hole. Sorry, Jim. So what I gotta do is try and get a hole through here without spilling, but also without creating a bunch of junk in there. And I probably should have done that with this thing off. I don't want to pull it off now though, because I've still got quite a bit of fluid in there. It would leak just all over my wires and everything. So I was thinking about if this drill bit's sharp enough. I just don't know what's gonna work on this. Just don't have a lot of room there to create any kind of poke. Okay, that's gonna poke through, I think. I'm trying not to break my instrument cluster. A hole in there. Okay, is it working? I think it's working. Just don't poke myself. Oh, yep, it is working. Okay, so we're just going to run this in and out of there a few more times just to make sure we get a good hole, and then we'll put the hose back on it. I can See it flowing now. See it right in there? Just got to fill this up and it'll flow down. I'm going to make sure that's on there tight. And I've got to make sure that the bottom I've got sealed off. Yep, got it sealed off right here. Good. Yep. Alright, so now we should be able to install this. And I think it'll open the bleeder valve in the back and it'll start to bleed itself. We'll see how that works. We're going to fill it back up. Okay, it had already started leaking into this hose, so got that hose in the right spot. I'm going to put this around and try and get that bottom bleeder valve on there, or that bottom hose, because I don't want it to leak all over everything. Look at that, see? It's already dripping. So let's get this back where it needs to be. Actually, what I probably should do is try and get this on there. As quickly as I can. See, look at that. Let's find the right wrench. There we go. Yeah, because if we can get that on there, it really shouldn't leak anymore. Much. It'll leak a little bit, but we're back out here. What I did is I pinched off the top, so I got those hose pliers up there pinching the top off. I still might get some spillage down here, but I think we're just gonna have to deal with it. I got to get that rod on there, and the only way to get that rod on there is to take this off. This is the hard line. Just get down here where you can see a little bit better. See that hard line right there? Oops, shadow. Sorry. Take the hard line off. So it's going to leak a little bit. But once we get that hard line off here, I'm going to put, sorry guys. Here, just don't want it completely leaking down on the paint. Okay, so I have to pull this out. Drop it down. I need to get this down. Gotta find that rod. Maybe reach around this way and get it. Now I have to go up here. I feel it there. Ah. There we go. Okay. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see this. Hopefully you can. But basically, here's the rod that has to go into the top of the brake boot. Once it's in there, it kind of will get its own. Here, let's see, maybe here. Hopefully, you probably can't see this, but basically I just need to get that rod into the boot and then put it back up. So let's put you back down here. Let's see. Oh, don't get stuck. Sure that is in there. I think it is. Oh, yeah, that's in there, all right, because it's squeezing it out. This back in. Okay, so now that it's on the hard line, it should basically stay intact there. Okay, let's get the hard line tightened up. That is tightened. Let's make sure we don't have any leakage there. Okay. Now, the trickiest part is to get the bolts in there. That was easier than when I was doing it yesterday. Okay, now I gotta try and figure out how to get that top one in there. I know you probably can't see this, but let's hope that that rod went in the right spot. Okay, so it's a 13 mil. Pretty sure you probably can't. Oh, there we go. So by getting it kind of in the right spot, it allows that rod to go down in the right spot. Get that really tight. Okay, so as long as there's no leaks, I should be able to open the back, and maybe now with the suction, undo that lever up top. And here, let me just give you a better look in there. So that's kind of where we're working at. Those two bolts bolted on, the hard line that goes straight out, and then up above, which you probably can't see, but there is a rod that goes into that boot that plunges down in there. Okay, so let's undo the top here. And see how this looks. See if it drains down a little bit. Okay, here's our level right now. You can see it right there. Now we're going to go to the back and open up the bleed valve. I'm going to have to move some stuff out of my way there, but we're right back up underneath that tire. Okay, so I'm going to try and show you up here what's going on there. Hopefully you can see, but there's the bleeder for the slave cylinder. So I'm going to loosen that and then use this suction tool right here to see if it sucks it out. So we will see how this goes. I'm just going to loosen it up. And I just don't want the hose to slip off. So now let's start doing some suction here and see if we get stuff coming down. Well, I think it's going to start coming down the line here. So, see how it's coming down there? You can see it up there at the top. It is sucking stuff out. I just want it to not be bubbly anymore. I just want to see how that feels up there. Okay, there's still suction going, which is good. It is coming through. So you can see it kind of sucking it out up there. Still sucking out air bubbles. So we're going to keep rolling there. Sorry, my camera work. Okay, we're going to keep going and I'll come back and tell you how it's going. Okay, I had to go back up and fill the reservoir because it actually got all the way down to about where the feed goes down under, you know, like down the side for the cylinder. So we're gonna pull it through again. I did notice that as I open that bleeder more, it seems to suck through a lot faster. So let's go over here so you can see kind of how it's coming down there. Get some pressure going. Still some air in there, but when I open it sucks it through a lot faster. Oh, and we are just about full. Okay, I'm going to tighten it so I can take this off and empty it. So, as you can see, we filled this bad boy up with some dirty stuff. So, let's take the suction out. Good. And I'm going to go out, let's see, I got to crawl out of here and then go figure out a spot to empty this. I think I've got a empty container I can put it in. Okay, so I'm going to try and see what the action is on this when I press the clutch pedal. Well, that worked. It goes down. It extends even further. I thought it would maybe go up, but it actually extended down. So I'll have to see. Next time I start it up, I'll have to push the clutch in and see if it makes any noise or what it does. But I'm off the ground right now, so I don't really want to mess with it, because if it jumps into gear, it would, you know, that could be a problem. Yeah, cool. I think that's good. I'm trying to think of what else there is to do tonight. If there's anything more I should do, I should probably seal up the front. Oh, I still need a light bulb for the headlight thing. I gotta figure out what light bulb I actually need for that. You could probably put the the glove box in. It would finish off kind of the front there. You know, you could probably start working on some of the exterior and getting the doors ready to go. Decide if I want these doors or the brown doors. This door looks pretty good. The other one, you know, had some rust spots on it. This one doesn't look too bad. On the outside, this one has kind of a ding down here. Bottom. Everything else on that door looks pretty straight. What about this door? This door looks pretty straight. I think it had a ding here, but nothing that you couldn't fix. Looks like they did some work down here, but it still looks pretty straight. Oh, let's get that flashlight. Let's see how this looks in here. Yeah, it doesn't look that bad. A little bit of surface rust. I can clean that up and spray it. Just a little bit of junk down there. Vacuum out. So, and then we're going to start on some body work. I might put the windows in while I'm working on it. That way I can drive it. I can take it and get it smogged. I need to get the door out and hang it on here. I want to get it smogged. I want to get the alignment done so that it's drivable, and we're running it, making sure that everything's working great. It's just kind of a short one, I think. I don't even know how, yeah, I think it's kind of a short one, but, you know, it's a good one. We kind of fixed some stuff on the engine. Oh, look at that, I got it all covered up. Trying to keep it from dusty. Got some stuff figured out on the engine. Hopefully it won't catch fire now, because I pulled that cold start out that was leaking and spraying fuel. I'm going to open this other door, see if we got any kind of sunset going on. It was pretty cloudy. We were expecting some rainstorms again tonight. Well, I think it's past sunset, but a good night. It's a nice night. People walking the streets. Yeah, it's looking good. Okay, let's leave you with firing it up, letting it run for a few minutes. start valve is hot, like super hot. Let's take a look up here. So we're running about 800 RPM. I think we want to run it around 900. Just sounds better at 900. Our oil pressure's good. We don't have an oil temp sender yet. Alright, let's turn that off. That was interesting how hot that cold start valve is. It burned my finger. Well, so it runs pretty good. No leaks down here. That I was kind of looking to see if I would get any drips back there, and I don't have any. So that's awesome. Don't have any drips down there. So that, again, that sealant, thread sealer worked, that Permatex. Don't have any fuel leaks that I can see. Here's that bypass I did. The cold start. I don't know if this thing is sending electricity to this, to why it's getting so hot. If the other one, I don't know if the other one did that or not. Dangerously hot. No wonder it would have caught fire if the other one was leaking. So, well, I think that's going to be a wrap for tonight. Thanks for watching Mr. Smith Garage. If you're not a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe. If you like the channel, what we're doing here, I think things are going to start moving a lot faster on Jack. Because the brakes work, and I think the clutch works, and now it's time to start cleaning this thing up and getting ready for paint. So that'll be kind of the next big push, and I don't know if Mrs. Smith wants me to do it here in the garage. I'd have to really transform the garage, hang up some plastic, and maybe move the Porsche over here and hang some plastic down the middle here, kind of isolate off this side. We'll see how that works.